just to be respectful of time. It's 4:05. That's more time than we'll need to get on if they need to. Okay.
That's awesome. Do you have to let people in? Do you let people in, or can they go right in?
I don't do shit.
Yeah.
No, I think there's somebody else letting people in.
All right. Yeah, because you got to open up your chat box, and then you'll see like who's there, and then okay, no worries.
Yeah, chat box is open, but I don't. I think there's
participants. No, the participants. Okay. Yep. You're cool.
Yeah, like Mary Beth's assistant is letting people in. Okay, so what my biggest passion is lead generating. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I did not, when I was at a different brokerage prior to Keller Williams, I did not lead generate. Nobody did. Like I was in an office where people talked about it. They talked about how important lead generating was, but nobody did it. So I didn't really know what it was. And I understood that it was like calling people. And you could cold call if that's something you're comfortable with. You could cold call people. If you're not comfortable with it, it's something you can practice and get better at. But I never did it. And then when I took Push, David was telling us how important lead generating is, lead gen, as people call it. And we were required to do it during Push. And so everyone kept saying, if you have better business, you got to lead generate. Oh, if you want to be $1 million real estate agent, you got to lead generate. If you want to do this, you got to lead generate. If you want more listings, you got to lead generate. It's like saying if you want to lose weight and healthy, you got to eat right and exercise. Yeah. I'm not doing that either. So, but I would like to look better and lose weight, but I don't like eating right and exercise. So until David held me accountable and he said, the Push class, who here is willing to change what they do enough that you want to change your business? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here because I want to do better. I want to get more listings. I want to earn more money. I want to be a better agent. So he said, you need to lead generate every day. And it's up to you as to, is it going to be a time amount? Are you willing to dedicate a certain amount of time to lead generating, or is it a certain number of people you want to contact a day? How many days a week do you want to do it? And during like the bold classes that I took, they recommend doing 20 people a day, 5 days a week. So that's 100 people.
So are you talking about actually getting people on the phone, having discussions with them? Because, I make, 1 billion calls, whatever. But I don't talk to 20 people a day.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was finding, that I could make those calls, but I wasn't talking to 20 people. I could be leaving 19 messages. Mm. So that was the challenge. Like, so I was getting so overwhelmed with having to talk to 20 people a day that one time I talked to Sally and I said, like, I just can't get 20 people on the phone. And she goes, how many are you getting? And I go, if I make 20 phone calls, maybe I'm getting 2 people on the phone. And she goes, well, then that's 2 more people than you would have talked to if you didn't make 20 calls. Okay, so those 2 people could be, that's what, 10 people a week. Hmm. And so then what I found was I was running out of people. I had to contact 100 people a week for how many weeks I was in bold. I'm like, I'm running out of people. So what I did was I started not just using the phone. I'm like on social media all the time. So I would Facebook message people. I would text people. I would Instagram message people. And then trying to come up with more people, if I posted something on Facebook and I got a lot of response from it, even if it was a personal thing, something about my kids, my grandchildren, my beach house, whatever, anybody that commented saying something, I now would reach out to them and say, hey, Scott, I just wanted to touch base with you. I saw that you commented on my granddaughter making that chocolate layer cake and you said you love cake. I'd love to share the recipe with you. How are you doing? What's going on? Haven't talked to you in a while. Real estate's keeping me so busy. I haven't really had time to touch base with friends. Check in. And then I'm starting a conversation with you and you would write back saying, oh my gosh, that looks like you had a great weekend. That cake looked great. My grandmother used to make one like that. And so I'm starting like a conversation with you. And now you are one of those people on my lead generating list. And then I started to, over a year ago, keep track of who I called every day, who not just called. When I say called, it was who I contacted. Did I reach them? What was discussed? Did I get a list? Then, as I started touching base with people, this was when COVID first happened. It was really what we called care calls.
Yeah.
Because when COVID first started, none of us were calling going, hey, what's the real estate like by you? People were scared to death. We didn't know what was coming. We didn't know if we were all going to die. Are we going to lose our jobs? Are we going to lose our house? It was not time for us to be asking if they had any real estate for us to deal with. It was just care calls, just reaching out to see if you're okay. I have elderly parents, and this is legitimately what I said in my care calls or text or email or whatever. I said, I have elderly parents. I go to the grocery store several times a week for them. If there's anything you need, please let me know. I'll pick it up at the store and I'll drop it off for you. I had a couple of resources for people that were desperate for childcare or anything, like whatever they needed, I was going to be the resource for them. All I did was care calls for a long time. And now, so I go back to that. So it's not always about real estate right away, but it's just, I'm reaching out to people no matter how I can get them. And then it's not always about real estate. So Sally said, whatever calls you're making, it's more than what you were making before. So if people were getting overwhelmed with having to make 20 or 25 contacts a day, if that's too much for you, then do 20 to 25 contacts 3 days a week, or do 10 contacts 5 days a week, or do 20 contacts 1 day a week. If it's more than what you're doing now, start somewhere. Who do you call? Who do you talk to? How do you text them? How do you start the conversation? The more you do it, the more you get used to it. It's like going to a bar to start a conversation with, somebody you're looking to have drinks with. How do you start? Like, you're awkward at first, but then you just kind of have to get used to it. Then you get kind of smooth at it. So you just have to do the lead generating. So my issue was, I'm challenged with organization, and I'm doing it, like I'm learning how to do it differently. So I'm going to share my screen and show you some different forms that I started to use and then how I tweaked them to work for me. I need time blocking in my day. So I kind of need a to-do list every day. And I need to know the top things I need to do. And then I kind of need to know how my day is broken up. And I also want to know who I contacted, so that if I'm getting desperate of like, who do I call today? I have nobody to contact today. I'll go back to 3 months ago and I'll see who I called 3 months ago, like right after New Year's. And I have little notes like, oh, Anne, her daughter was going to be having her first grandchild in February. I should follow up at her and see what they had. And then I follow up and she'll be like, oh my God, you were so sweet for remembering. Actually, I should put you in touch with them. They just realized the condo is too small for them. They're thinking of buying a house in Bergen County. Is that something you might want to help them with? So just me following up is getting that. So I'm going to shut up and share my screen if I can do it. All right, this is the first form. It's from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Can you see that? Okay, so this form I got from Bold, I think. But so this is one form that I started using last March. And you'd fill in the things you need to do today for business, the things you need to do for your personal. I need to go to the grocery store, I need to pick up food for dad, whatever. And then my this is like my daily schedule. And it was like from 5:30 to 10 p.m. what my day consisted of. And, early COVID, there wasn't much else to do. So you weren't going anywhere else. So I literally did have things in all these half-hour, not every half-hour slot, but I said 7 a.m., workout, 8 o'clock, take shower, 8:30, have breakfast, and by 9 o'clock, I wanted to be lead generating. So from 9 to 11, I would block out lead generating. And I learned the hard way that I needed to treat my lead generating time like as if it was a doctor's appointment with a doctor that's really hard to get an appointment with. Because it was so easy once things started opening up. If I blocked 9 to 11 and somebody called me to say, oh my gosh, my nephew is looking for a house. He just passed it in Mahwah. He passed one in Mahwah and wants to go see it. Can you show it to him today? He's only in town till 11 o'clock. Then he has to go back to Hoboken. And I'd be like, woo, yeah, I'll run. I'm going to go show that place. And then turns out like he was, 19 years old and had $5. And it was just like a whim that he thought maybe he could buy a house. So I realized jumping out to do those things was taking me away from the stuff I needed to do. So I needed to respect that time, because if I didn't do my lead generating from 9 to 11, I had to do it a different time that day, but it needed to be every day. So when David made this deal with me, he said, I had to come up with how many days a week I wanted to lead generate. Was it going to be how many hours, how many people? And it has metamorphosized over the last year, but I needed to keep track of my time blocking to prove to David that I was time blocking for lead generating every day or however many days I wanted. But I was finding that I needed to know who I talked to that day. So I was flipping this page on the backside and just writing people's names down. And I realized this is a great start to this form, but I needed more. Like this little messages and notes part was not big enough for me to be writing down the person's name and results of that call. So this was the next one I did. I took that form and kind of made it messages and notes and results. Like I made the lines bigger. And I took away the daily time frame was not going to be 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. because I realized my ass wasn't getting up at 5:30, so that whole beginning block was always empty because just be sleeping there. So I made it from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I would time block from 8 to 9, and then this is where I would keep my messages and notes of the calls I made. So I was at one point just shooting for 15 contacts 5 days a week. And then once I realized I need more, don't laugh at my sheet, the one I made myself. I don't know Google Docs. I don't know how to use Excel. Don't know any of those things. So what I did was I took a piece of graph paper and made my own chart. So I keep saying I need somebody who's really good at Excel to make me this sheet, but then I realized don't bother because every month I change this sheet. So I added this what would make today great and the date and my schedule. And then I don't know if you guys heard, as in 2020, I literally worked from 9 a.m. till about 10:30 at night, sitting at my desk, just working, calling. There was nothing else to do. And by 10:30, my husband was walking by me on my computer. He's like, babe, this is enough. Let's go. You've been on this computer since 9 o'clock this morning. It's 10:30. Go to bed. And I'm like, oh my God, but I just have to. So I burned myself out. So now I know I will kill it from 8 to 5. And I'm still at my computer 6, 7 o'clock at night, but I'm just trying to wind up. So from 8 to 5, I like scheduling my day. And then there'll be evening stuff, like if I'm going to work out or if we're going out to dinner. Then I want even more. I start keeping track of the whole point in me calling. Now you see it's 25 people on my list here. Did I connect with them? What mode? Was it text, Facebook, call? Did I take them out to coffee? What's the source of how I got this person? Was it a referral? Is it from my sphere? Was it a past client? And more importantly, did I get an appointment? Because I started realizing the entire point of me calling these people, texting these people, Facebooking, is to get an appointment. Are they thinking they might want to list their house next year? And I want to get in their house as soon as possible and say, look, even though you're looking to list your house next year, would it be helpful to you if I popped over and walked through the house and just gave you an idea of, maybe some things you could work on in the next year to get your house ready to list and what your house would list for now? Would that be helpful to you just so you have an idea? So I want an appointment. I want to get in their house. I want to take them out for coffee. I want to find out if they're looking to buy in the next year, where can I set up with another agent? Is it an MLS that I'm on? I want to connect with this person and have some kind of appointment. That's the whole point. And then this is like any notes, like, you know, started a new job at AT&T, and then this, importantly, which I don't do often enough, did I update their information in Command? So a lot of people are saying all this information of who you called, the date you called them, and what the results were, and all this, you can put, Command takes care of this for you. So that's something that I'm working on, learning how I can take this form and just be utilizing Command for all of it. And then Command would give you an alert saying like, hey, you called John Carlisle on March 1st, 2020, and you told him, you know, when he wants to list his house next April, you should be calling him. So it's going to pop up a little alert on my Kelly app saying like, hey, you should be contacting John Carlisle today. So it's a little reminder. So mind you, this old-fashioned graph paper chart that works for me because I'm a freaking dinosaur, you could do this on Command if you're smarter than me. So down here, I write, so today, how many appointments did I set? How many appointments held? Did I get any contracts signed? Did I have any closings? And what's my GCI? Like, as of right now, from 2021, January 1st, what is my GCI so far? So this kind of like is a wake-up call. If this is a big fat zero, or if it's 20,000, or if it's 30,000 or 50,000, and my goal was 200,000, you know, by May of 2021, how far off am I? And then once you really start keeping track of how many people you called and how many appointments you held and how many contracts you signed and how many closings you have, you'll start knowing your conversion rate. So if I want to have 10 closings this year, and it takes me 10 appointments to get one, like 10 appointments to get one listing, or 10 appointments get me 8 listings, 10 listing appointments get me 8 listings. I need to know if I want to have 10 listings, then I need to have this many appointments every year, every month, every week. And you start breaking it down, and it kind of motivates me to get these phone calls done when I see my numbers aren't lining up. So, and this is a lot. There's in the red book, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, you're supposed to read it 12 times. I'm on like my 3rd, and I think I'm just still starting to understand it. But knowing your numbers is big. And if you don't know how many people you call every time you make phone calls or contacts, you don't have a number to start with. So here's one thing I will say, which numbers don't lie. So if you lead generate, I'm just going to say every day, but every day is whatever every day is to you. That's 5 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week, whatever your set number is. If you do it, hard, like I'm going to say 5 days a week, if you just do it 5 days a week, you will see results in 3 months. So after a year of me doing it 5 days a week, you know, 15 to 25 people a day, I capped. I earned more money in 2020 than I ever thought possible. And it was all from lead generating. But I saw the results start 3 months after I started doing it every day. And I was told that would happen, but of course I don't believe anybody. So they were like, oh, if you really kill it with your lead generating in 3 months, you'll see results. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I was just doing it because I had made a bet with David and I was doing it. In 3 months, I saw results. So I kept doing it and I saw results, and I capped, and all these wonderful things happened. And I kind of hit a wall at the end of 2020, and I wasn't lead generating. I got COVID, things happened, but you know, I took this not doing lead generating too far. I have no active listings. Guess what? It was 3 months after you know, you reap what you sow. I have no listings right now because 3 months ago I wasn't lead generating. They are not kidding when they say it takes 3 months to see the results. So it's like a diet and exercising. You're not going to see results right away. Over time of doing it in these little bites, you know, eat the elephant one bite at a time. Oh, I got it. You see the results 3 months later. So as frustrating as it is, like just like you're making calls every day for 3 months and you're not seeing anything, it can take 3 months to see the results. And the more you do it, the more you will find your spin on it. So some people are much better on the phone. I talk too much. You can mute yourselves with laughter. I know you're no shit. I talk too much. So I prefer not to do too much on the phone. What I do is I start out with a text. I also find that I get more response from people later in the day. So there are some days I can only do from 9 to 11 because that's the time I have available. But there's many times if my husband's watching a Ranger game and I'm just on the couch, I will start texting or Facebook messaging people in the evening between like 7 and 8:30. And that's where I'm getting these responses. And people are sitting on the couch, like relaxing, and that's where they are more engaged and I get more replies. So sometimes my lead generating happens in the evening. So if you are more of a phone call person and you want to do that during the day and you get good response during the day, do what works for you. If you like 9 to 11, if that's a good sweet spot for you, do it 9 to 11. If you are, wind up doing it more at night, do it. However you like communicating with people. And the other thing is my lead generating always at least one time a week consists of taking somebody out for coffee. And I always limit it to like, people that I think could be like, I'm nurturing, like people whose kids are going off to college and they live in a really big house. And not only do I sincerely want to take them out for coffee, say, I just want congratulations on your son going to Monmouth University, he's playing baseball. This is so great. I want to take you out for coffee and let's celebrate. And then I'm just going to ask questions like, so tell me, what are you guys going to do now? You're in that house. It's only you and your husband. This is your last kid going to college. What's the plan? I want to ask, and I give it a time limit. So I'll say, can I take you out for coffee? I have like Wednesday or Friday, anytime between 9:30 and 11. And if she says, oh, Friday at 10 would be great. And I go, all right, good. I have an hour. So is like Friday 10 to 11 good for you? And then I make sure I have something that I have to leave for at 11. Even if I don't, I could be there for 4 hours talking and having coffee. So I say, I've just got to go at 11. So we have an hour coffee. So lead generating, and one time a week, I'm taking somebody out for coffee because I'm nurturing them. And then also, in addition to the lead generating, what I do is I call it a pop by, P-O-P, pop by, where I'll take like my top 10 people who I'm nurturing, and I'll drop off a little thing. Like at Easter, it was those little Easter, those marshmallow peeps with a little thing that said, it was a picture of peeps, and it said, hey, just checking on my peeps. And I'd sign it, and then I'd text them and say, hey, check your mailbox. I threw something in your mailbox for you. And then they're like, oh my God. Sorry, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. So I do those little pop-bys and drop things off for people. And like St. Patrick's Day, I dropped off those little tiny clover plants you could buy at ShopRite for $1 each. Just little fun things. So I'm nurturing people by doing that. But I'm also lead generating. So they've heard from me in the last few weeks. So it's not like some random thing. I'm not dropping it off randomly. Like, what the hell is this from Patti? I talked to them about a week or two ago. So they're kind of still engaged with me. What else can I tell you about lead generating? A lot of people don't know what to say. It's not, I find that it's not like a script I need, like to say, hi, this is Patti Gurney with Keller Williams. I was just calling to check. Like, I don't want it to be a sales pitchy call. I'm very sincere, and it's usually got a little bit of my humor in it. And I'll say, people know that I have a lot of energy and I'm always going. So sometimes I'll text and be like, hey, I literally had 30 seconds before walking into an appointment. I thought I would just check in and say, hi, what's going on with you? And they'll text back saying, LOL, haven't seen you in so long, what's going on? Sometimes it's back and forth conversation. And then I'll say, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I have at 3 o'clock. Can I give you a quick call? And then at 3 o'clock, we have a call scheduled. And that's where I really get down to the nitty gritty and ask them, like, how are you doing? What are you doing? How are the kids? What else can I yap about? And do you guys have any questions? Is there anything about lead generating that you're confused about or on? Anybody? Nothing? Can you guys tell me, like, do you guys lead generate every day?
So Patty, it's, the thing that I do is, I get on my lead gen. And for me, it's like, there's two different kinds of results. One is either, okay, no answer, I'll leave a message, say, and follow up, or, get somebody, like if it's in my sphere, I get somebody, I get into a conversation with them and just, yeah, great. You're talking about everything but real estate. And then at the end saying, hey, this is my new career. And if you know anybody, and I give them, ideas like, anybody just had a baby or is getting divorced, or, who has had a life event that could generate something, keep me in mind, and talk it up. And usually it's great. Yeah, Scott, oh, that's great. I'm going to do that. But I haven't gotten anything out of that. I've zero out of that. And I'm doing it for months. And the other piece where I've really kind of gotten some things is that I've developed some people who are estate sale people. The people go in and that's generated for me some listing appointments where it's like, okay, here's, these people are getting ready to sell their house, and usually there's a couple of other agents, and most of the time they're from KW that I'm competing against, but at least I'm getting in there and talking to them. But I know this, I've been trying to use Command, or have been using Command, because it seems like it's got all the tools on it, but it's just a hard thing to find that needle in the haystack, or that unicorn that's willing and able to list right now.
So the one thing that I found was the key is in the follow-up. I have this sticker, hold on. I made, how do I get this into my camera?
My money is made in follow-up.
It says, so follow up. Yeah. And that's the truth. Your money is made in follow-up. So I found I was calling people or reaching out to them and saying, hey, keep me in mind if anybody has real estate, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, totally. We'll think of you. I totally recommend you. You'd be the first person. And then 3 months later, I see, they listed their house. And I'll be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Or their daughter buys a house and I see them celebrating their daughter's new house purchase. And, when I invest, I don't call them up and be like, dude, what? Like, I find out that they totally forgot that I was in real estate. And that's the truth. Like, so I have somebody that he's a mason, and over the winter, to make money, he does snow plowing. Well, I was desperate looking for somebody to plow one of my clients' driveways. I posted on Facebook, I hired somebody, and this guy later sees me. He goes, are you kidding me? I do snow plowing off season. I'm like, totally forgot. He goes, I did snow plowing for you at your client's house last year. I'm like, you did? I totally forgot. Like, he's not a guy that's on Facebook. He doesn't promote himself, but I was just supposed to remember. I don't. So the follow-up is key. So let's say on today, the 26th, on April 26th, I talked to so-and-so and, no results. They're not moving. They don't know anybody who's moving. They said they'd keep me in mind. So a few days later, 3 days later, usually I will text them a photo of my business card, and I have it saved on my phone as a photo. Mm-hmm. So I hate to do it like that in front of the camera. So I have a picture of my business card saved on my phone, and I'll say, hey, Scott, it was really great touching base with you the other day. Just wanted to send you a picture of my business card as a reminder, just in case you know anybody you could share this with them. Just let me know. Tell them to let me know that you're the one that referred me. I really appreciate referrals. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I get a referral, whether this person, whether they buy a house with me, sell a house with me or not, I drop off or send a little thank you to that person that gave me that referral. I reward for it because I want them to remember that. I want them to keep doing that. So follow-up is key. So even if you tell somebody like, don't forget to recommend me to anybody, and they go, oh yeah, Scott, I will. I absolutely will. In 3 months, when their daughter's like, oh mom, I'm so excited. My boyfriend and I are finally going to buy a condo. You're going to just be so excited about your daughter buying a condo that you're not going to be like, you got to call Scott. He told me 3 months ago and told me that he's real estate.
Right.
So just continually follow up. Mm-hmm. And then if somebody says to you like, oh, I'm so excited, my daughter just got engaged, and you're BSing about their daughter getting engaged, but she lives in Chicago. A few days later, I would say, hey, I just wanted to congratulate you again on your daughter getting engaged. I know she lives in Chicago. I just wanted to throw it out there. I have a couple of colleagues working in Chicago specifically. If she is thinking about, buying or selling or renting a new place, please let me know. I would love to hook her up with some of my top colleagues out there. They would really take care of her. So even if somebody called me to say, hey, Patty, I heard your son is moving to wherever he's moving to, keep me in mind. I have colleagues out there that would really take care of him. And even if my son was staying in a dorm or if he's living with his girlfriend out there, the fact that this real estate agent called and said they wanted to take care of my son, I would remember that. And then in 3 weeks or a month, if that agent reaches out to me and says, hey, Patty, how's your son doing in Ann Arbor? I just saw they had some crazy weather out there. And I'd be like, oh my God, this guy remembered that my son's in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's sweet. So that's the shit that, like, when I write down stuff for my lead generating, that's the stuff I'm writing down. And then I go back, follow up about that. And they're like, you are so sweet that you remembered that. That is so nice that you reached out to me. I totally forgot. I wouldn't have remembered. It's on my sheet of the calls I made from like 3 weeks ago. I have no idea. So that is that's my tip for you, Scott, that keep making the calls, but then go back and circle back with those people. And a few days after making that connection, send them a picture of your business card, because it's repetitive.
Have you been sharing your app on the phone? I mean, has that been something that people have been accepting and doing? I've had a couple people, I sent it to people, and I'm not getting much out of it.
I'll be honest, I'm probably not utilizing it to the extent that the people that are having success may be doing it differently than I am. I've shared it, but people still use the other apps that we're wishing they wouldn't use.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of people using that app at all.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if I was more dedicated to sharing it, if I followed up with people, are you using the app? Can I show you again how to use the app? Can I tell you how important the app is? Can we keep trying to use the app? If I kept nurturing people, maybe they would. But text, Facebook message and those things, I'm getting more interaction with those things.
Parul had something that you want to say.
Hi, Patty. How are you?
Hi.
So 2 questions. One, I did an open house and got some leads, buyers without real estate agents coming in. They sounded like as if, they'll pick me and I'll be their agent, but I called them, but they of course didn't pick up the phone today. So should I just call back today evening and just like follow up? I know you didn't pick up the phone in the morning. I just wanted to follow up. Or should I just write an email? Or should I just do the text? What's the best way to reach for the first thing and then follow up?
Did you, do you know like where they live? Because what I always found is if they weren't answering my call right away, I would send like old-fashioned thank you card.
Okay. I mean, the thing was like, I don't want to wait for that long.
Yeah, okay.
If someone is so interested and they're really looking actively, by the time my thank you card reaches in 4 days, I don't want them to get someone else. You know what I mean?
Are they that far away?
I don't, like, they're looking around. A couple of them came from the city, so I don't know if they
all right, yeah, so that will take longer. Like if they're local, sometimes I just drop it off.
Right.
So you called and they didn't answer, but again, like you called them today?
In the morning, yes.
All right, so it's Monday. They could be working. It could be a little crazy. So I would, is it their cell phone number?
Yes.
So I would text.
Okay.
And say, hey, I reached out this morning. We weren't able to connect. And I always want to say something that would make them want to call me back.
Yes.
So just say, like, did they like the house that you were sitting at? Or you're thinking a different house would be better for them?
So they like that, but they were also showing the interest that, they want to look at more homes.
Okay, so I would say it was so nice meeting you yesterday. I'm sorry, we couldn't connect when I called you this morning. Give me a call back. I have a listing that I think you may be interested in seeing.
Okay.
Now you need to come up with a listing you think they may be interested in seeing, but it could be anything that you don't think they'd be interested in seeing, but at least you've got them interested to call you back and say like, okay, so I showed you this house in wherever, Upper Saddle River, but I just want to say there's this beautiful house in Montvale. I wasn't sure if you were interested in looking in Montvale. I'd like to email you this listing, okay? But I wouldn't send anything until I connected with them.
Right, and
you don't want to just be sending listings.
Exactly. So my next question is, of course, when we connect, we start talking. The first thing, I don't want to tell them to immediately sign paperwork with me because they get put off like that. They're like, I don't even know you, we haven't spoken or we haven't done any, we haven't sit down or whatever. So I shouldn't bring that up immediately, right? That you have to sign in some people.
I don't the first time because I feel like, I don't know if, and this it sounds like, I don't know if I want to work with them yet.
Right, exactly, because
I'm just getting to know you and you're just getting to know me. I don't want you to sign paperwork with me because I don't know if I want to commit to you yet. You may be a freak.
Yes,
You're really annoying.
Exactly. So because, when you do sphere of influence, at least and you connect back. But random people walking in open house and just, they seem to be very nice people, but I don't want to first send them dot loop information and just
no, right. So what I do is I want to meet them first. Like I want to go show them I'm willing to show them a place.
Right.
So I can kind of see how do we work together? How's the energy between you and me? When I'm showing you this house, are you engaged with me? Like, are we a good fit?
Right.
And then I'll say to them like, look guys, so this house wasn't right for you. Are you interested in seeing more? Do you want me to send you more houses that we can go take a look at together? If they go like, yeah, we're really interested. I would ask again, like, so you're not working with any other agents right now? I would love to work with you guys. And they go, yeah, no, we think that would be great. I would say, great. So here's what is best for both of us. When I commit to working with a buyer, I want you to know exactly what it is I'm going to take responsibility for and what you can hold me accountable to. And vice versa. I want to make sure that if I'm showing you places and I'm taking you on tours and I'm doing the searches for you guys, you're committed to buying those places with me. So I just have a standard buyer's agreement form that can be canceled at any time. If I'm not doing my job, if you feel that I am not doing what's right for you, we can have an agreement to cancel. But as you sign this and I sign this, I am committing to you that I am going to do everything that you tell me that you need me to do. You want me to send you every active colonial in these towns between these price ranges and take you on tours of houses that you feel are in the right time, in the right price bracket and all that. That's what I'm going to do for you. And if at any time you feel like I'm not doing my job, we can cancel this agreement. But I need to know that you're working with me and you need to know that I am committed to you.
That's great. Yeah,
and if they say like, no, not signing anything, that tells me that they're working with somebody else, or they're those buyers that I don't know if I'm going to want to commit all the work that goes into sending the listings, searching the listings. If they're not willing to sign something after the first or second time that I've shown them stuff and they know who I am and what my energy is like and how I work, if they're still not willing to sign something, bye.
Right. So when I'm going to make a call tonight, I should, when I start, I did speak to them and they did give me information that a couple of them were pre-approved and they're looking in this price range. So what should be my next step to ask them when I speak to them this evening? Because, it's different when you see random people. I don't know what should be, when I sphere of influence, I know exactly what I'm talking to them, right? I can speak to them easily. But so my next step, I was thinking just asking them if they're interested in seeing some property this week or what time works for them.
Right. I would say I would text them because I always find people respond to text.
Yes.
Like they'll see your random phone number and you like, I don't often listen to my voicemails on a regular basis. So sometimes it won't be 10 o'clock tonight that I listen to your, I'll too late to call you back. But if you text me and say, hey, Patty, it's Parul. I tried to reach from the open house at such and such. I tried to reach out to you this morning. I'm sorry we missed each other. I have a listing, or I would say something that would pique their curiosity to call me. Not like I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
Just I have a listing I'm wondering if you may be interested in hearing about.
Okay.
And then when you get them on the phone, just say, just fine tune, just say like, I know I met you at the open house on such and such, and I know you said you were looking for houses here. Is that still the case? Do you want me to, would you like me to show you a place that I had in mind to show you, and then show them that place. And then once they see you, I would ask if they want you to be their agent, and then see if they could sign something.
Perfect. That's great information, Patty. Thank you.
And that's a good, like, you could save those. So what I do is, on this sheet that I keep of people I called, I'll write down like John Smith. I met him at the open house at 26 Spruce Run in Ramsey. And then like now I'm finding this isn't enough space for me to keep my notes, so I write on the back and I'll say John Smith lives in Montvale, is looking to downsize with his wife, blah blah blah.
Right.
And so that's one of my lead generating people, somebody that I met at an open house. And then I'll go back in a few weeks and say like, oh, that guy John like never got back to me. I'm going to try him again.
Right. There was this really, really old couple, almost like grandparents, and the guy didn't want to speak anything. He's just walking randomly. I'm like, can I show you? He's not even answering. He's not even like, he's just looking. They're like, we live around the corner. We're just looking. The woman was very nice. She was like, very, I was helping her go up and down the stairs.
Oh God.
And I was like, so are you looking to sell? Are you looking to buy another property? What's it like? We don't know yet. So they didn't want to answer anything. So I was wondering, like, how do I reach out to people like that who were like, they did give me the number. He was nice in the sense that some people don't even want to because they don't want to.
If it was the real number, that's another thing.
That's another thing.
What I do in that case, I had an open house in Ramsey and there was an older couple that came and they were the same thing. Like I don't want to share too much with you. Like they want to, poker face. They don't want to let on anything. I dropped them off like a little, I think it was right before Valentine's Day. And they were like at Morano's, they had like this little bag of heart cookies, $4. And I dropped it off with my business card and a little note in their mailbox saying, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, it was nice to meet you.
So they didn't want to tell me any ad. They're like, they didn't want to give me ads.
Do you know their last name?
I don't remember what he gave. I have to check.
I look it up on the tax record. If they told me they lived around the corner, I'd look it up on the tax records.
Okay.
And I drop off something in their mailbox.
Okay. Because they came in as if, and they were very excited to see, oh, this is completely redone. I'm like, are you planning, do you want to remodel? Do you want to list your home? We have to speak to our grandchildren, to our children, what we want to do. So the lady was giving me more information, but the guy was like so quiet and he just went on and saying. So I was like, there has to be a script to reach out to people like that,
Yeah, I just stay in touch with them and just drop off things of value, drop off like a flyer about like, if you do something about home renovations, or just say, I have so many contacts for home renovations, like low cost. I have a really affordable painter. I have a really affordable handyman. If it gets to the point that you're thinking of doing little minor repairs to your house, or you're thinking of listing, please reach out to me. I'd love to share my list of handyman. And
that's a great idea. I like that.
But don't give them any information until they call you. Yeah. And then when they say, hi, it's Mrs. Jones, I met you, and you're like, oh, Mrs. Jones. Jones is your last name. Yes, Mrs. Jones. Now I look up where she lives, and then I'm on her like white on rice.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you, Patty. Appreciate it.
So I always say, like, drop off little things of value, or send things. I send thank you cards a lot after open houses. I try to get as much information from the person as I can. Like, oh, have you been looking long? Do you live in town? They're like, oh no, we live in Hoboken. I get their last name, and if you can just like Google,
Yeah.
If they have like a unique name, you can sometimes find their address. I just send them a thank you card. And sometimes you're sending it to the wrong person, not them, but you got my business card, so it's not like a terrible thing.
I mean, it's hard because everyone's different personalities. So how do you tackle each one differently? But this is good information.
But you have to be genuine to you. So like, I know we do have to try to mirror what, like if the other person is very standoffish and very hesitant to share information, I wouldn't want to show up at their front door like, I found you, so like, which I've done. But you just want to be respectful and like send that person a little note, like little trips that they get to be in control, that you're not harassing them. But for the most part, I just say you have to be genuine with who you are. And there's many times where, here's an example. I wanted to buy, you know, the, I don't know, it's like press-on nail polish, Color Street, doesn't matter. So there's this stuff everybody's using and I've heard all about it. And I'm like, I want to try it. I want to try it. So my friend said, oh, my sister sells it. I'll hook you up with her. So she sent us a text and said, hey, Mary, this is Patty. Patty wanted to try your product. And whatever this girl, Mary, was like, okay, Patty, great. Here's the link to my website. Never heard from her again. Totally forgot I ever wanted to buy nail stuff. So I do not even recall the incident. Months later, I'm going through my text and I'm like, who's Mary? I'm like, oh my God, the nail girl. She never followed up with me. The bitch, if she followed up with me, I probably would have spent like $150 on press-on nail things throughout COVID. Never followed up with me. But if she had kept saying like, hey, Patty, don't forget me. I know you wanted to try the nail stuff. Patty, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a free sample. If she sent me like a free anything, sent me one so I could try it on one nail, I'd be like, dude, I'm in. Oh my God, thank you for following up. But if you just like constantly are constantly consistent, not be any more repetitive, if you're consistent and they know that, you know, you don't give up and you don't back off, and now they're going to go like, oh yeah, that Parul girl, we met her at the open house. This is the third time she sent me a postcard, an email, a thing. Just don't give up until they say, could you please stop reaching out to us? Because otherwise, like if that, I would have said to this nail girl, like, oh my God, thank you for reminding me. Totally forgot I wanted to buy this stuff. And then somebody else would have come up to me and said like, hey, I sell Color Street nail stuff. I'd be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to buy that. Here, I'll buy it with you. So
true. I mean, follow-up is great.
Your money is made in follow-up. Nobody's buying or selling with you based on one phone call.
And especially you can get leads, but follow-up is the one which actually gets you the business. So.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I found, like this is just examples of what actually worked for me. And I think I said this on like a morning mindset call months ago. If you can hook up with the town gossip or somebody who's just nosy AF, and I don't like those people. Like I try to avoid them. I don't like gossip. And when I meet those people on the street walking their dog going, so did you hear what's going on with this one? I'm always like, don't want to know. If they wanted me to know, they would tell me myself. I don't want to know. But so I hook up with that nosy neighbor and I'm like, oh my God, do you know, I'm trying to think of who would know everything that goes on in this town. You have your finger on the pulse of everything that goes on in this neighborhood. You are so friendly and you know everybody. Who do you know in our neighborhood that may be in the position of listing their house? And she'd be like, I don't know nothing. And I'd be like, all right, if you think of anybody, let me know. 2 days later, I'm dropping off a little thing. It happened to be at the time when there was in October and LBI had their big chowder fest. So I bought a little quart of the winning chowder and dropped it off at her house. And I said, it was so nice running into you. I just wanted you to, you know, try the LBI winning chowder. 3 days later, she was like, well, I'm going to tell you something. This one had an affair and she's leaving her husband. Now they have to sell the house. And that one, her kids are all going to college. She's planning on leaving the husband as soon as the last one goes to college. And you know what else? Don't say that I told you. She gave me a list of all the neighbors and all the people that were, you know, So you can be damn sure I made sure I had postcards and stuff. I sent it to everybody in the neighborhood, not just the people I knew were cheating on their wives' husbands, but I sent it to everybody. And I started getting calls like, hey, I got your postcard. We're thinking about maybe selling. So hook up with your own gossip. Like, who do you know? You've got your finger on the pulse of this neighborhood. You walk your dog every day, 10 times a day, looking in people's windows. You must know everything. But, I say it in such a way that I'm not being condescending for being Gladys Kravitz.
Patty, you're awesome.
But you just got to hook up with the right people, and then you have to reward those people, right? So
I mean, I will love a reward, like, and I will definitely connect back to like, oh, that was so nice of you to drop off that thing, yeah, and I know that this person is planning to do this, even if I'm not a gossip person, but
right.
if you did that reward for me, I'll be very, that you were so kind to do that. So
right, just little things, and they don't cost much. Like if it cost me $15 and 45 minutes of dropping things off,
yeah,
I get a listing out of it, and I'm making $10,000 to $15,000. Like it was worth my investment.
Exactly.
But it's the follow-up, and however, follow-up is key. So you call people and you have to like remind them. So, and it's time consuming, I'm not gonna lie. So if I'm calling 20 people or 25 people a day, and then I have to figure out, I star the ones that I think are worth my time. And then I go back in a few days, I'll go back to like Thursday. I'll go back to Thursday and say, who did I talk to Thursday that I think I had a star next to their name that these could be a potential, I should be feeding these people. And then I'll drop off something, whatever. If I'm in the store and something's on sale and I could think of a cute way to market it, I'll drop it off. Flower seeds. And there's, I'll have to figure out who does it, but there is a company that comes up with these, I should share my screen. Let me see if I could find it first. Things that are like just fun little, I call them pop buys. Hold on. LMNOP, pop buys.
You have to reshare the screen with us.
What? I know I have to find the thing I want to share first. What do I want? Back to school, latte, extra gum. Okay, so I'm just going to do the extra gum one. And share my screen. Oh, Patty. How do I make it bigger? Oh, Phenobola.
You could see it pretty good.
Yeah.
Extra.
Yeah, you can see it?
Yeah, it looks real
Yeah,
good.
we see it.
All right, hold on. Thank you.
Yeah, it's big size, yeah.
Okay, so hold on, get referrals. So, all right, so you get, I am extra thankful for your referrals, and you attach a thing of extra gum there. And you just go drop it off the house. What's this going to cost me? $1? And they're like,
that's really cute.
and then you stick your card down there, and then you drop it off, and they're like, you're such an idiot. This is so funny. And I'll be like, I know. You get it. That's so funny. And then let me see if I could find another one. Oh, stopped. I stopped sharing my screen because I'm an idiot. Hold on. Okay, so here's, can you see this? Can you see the s'mores?
No, not
You have
yet.
to double click so it goes bigger.
Oh, it is bigger. All right, you are screen sharing. I'm trying to screen share.
Yeah, stop the screen
You can
share
do
and then
that,
go back into it.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
Yep, there we go.
you see it.
So, oh, sorry, there's like, so you print that out and you drop off like a box of graham crackers or a thing of Hershey's or, all right, what else? Let's drop off a lottery card and then print this thing out, wishing you a lotto holiday cheer. This would be cute right now. Thanks for helping me grow. I always appreciate your referrals. That kind of thing. Like those are the things, like if I go to Home Depot and they have plants on sale for $1, I'm like, oh, those are cute. And even if I can't print out that fancy sign, if I stick it on like a shish kebab skewer with a piece of paper, like they'll get it. They understand. So it's those little things that's what I consider part of my follow-up.
This is very cute. I like
And
it.
then you could just like, I don't even know how to stop. I'll close this one. Oh, screen sharing has stopped. I'm really bad at the screen sharing. I should take a class in screen sharing. Okay, what else? Back to school, real estate, Valentine latte. Can you see that one? Thanks a latte.
No, not yet. You've got to
We
unshare
just-
and then share again.
We just see your folders.
Can you see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
we got it.
Okay.
Yep.
So you drop off like either a Starbucks gift card or Starbucks has like those little packs of some kind of like instant coffee they sell. You could get one of those, but you just, all right, this one, you could, if you're into cooking, you could bake like a pound cake. And I am thankful for sweet clients like you if you're doing it at Thanksgiving. Like just fun stuff like that is cute little things to stop by. And then there was one, stop sharing and then share again.
Where'd you get these ideas from?
I steal them from people. Like it's like, there's a company that if you, I wonder if it'll say on there. I did this one at Valentine's Day. Candy hearts, like I bought the candy hearts and dropped off, let's take our relationship to the next level. And then it's like for referrals. I made sure I only dropped that off to women though.
Yeah, you have to share
Like
that.
I didn't want to freak anybody out. Like, oh my God, Brian's wife is coming on to me.
You have to share the screen.
You have to unshare and then share again.
You didn't see the Valentine candy one?
We didn't
No.
see it.
No,
Do I suck at this or what?
not at
Oh,
all.
practice. Oh, nope. We still don't see it.
Patty,
Still
we're
don't see it.
just grateful and
You
thankful
don't
you're
see
doing
it?
this.
Oh,
No, we'll see your folder still.
Why? Sons of bitches.
There it is.
Okay,
That
Almost
was-
had it.
Just go back. You just had it.
stop sharing. Share. Folder.
You know, you got to open it up first and then
Click
put
on
the,
it.
First you open it and
Oh,
then you
I
share it.
have it opened. All right, so I had it opened and then, all right.
unshare. Now look
Let's
at it.
try again. It's opened and I, for some reason, all right, I will try again. I have it opened, share the screen, and I'm gonna click it one more time. Now do you have it?
We
Yes,
do. Beautiful.
perfect.
Hold on. So look, let's take our relationship to the next level. You attach it to like that little email. I'm gonna give you my email address and I'll just email you the ones I have and you stick your own card to it. You print it out. If you print it out on a little harder paper, it's great, but I've done it where it was just regular copy paper. So stick it to the candy hearts. It's just fun little things and it makes people laugh like, oh my God, this girl's such a nut. So, and you think of whatever you want. And there was one that last year, like during like that horrible snow. Can you see that one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The windshield was really dirty. And I dropped, it was right before one of the big snowstorms. So I dropped that off. It says, I'm happy to provide great clients like you with a clearer view of our local market. Oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for any of your referrals. And ShopRite had like it's like the windshield washer fluid that doesn't freeze.
Hmm.
And a cheap like brush with a scraper on the end. So I think it cost me maybe $4 a person. It's like $1 something for the antifreeze fluid and like $1 something for the brush. And I dropped them off at people's houses and everybody was like, oh my God, my kids are gonna be so happy. This one just ran out of fluid. This one doesn't have a brush for his car. So like little things like that, if you do them timely, people are like, oh my God, that's so cute. That's so great. It's the follow-up.
And they don't cost that much, but they make such a good impression about you.
No, I'm so cheap. I won't spend a lot. Like I know there's people that are like, oh, I buy everybody a $20 Starbucks card. It cost me $200. I'm like, oh, hell no. Like it's just as cute if I give them like it's the thing. It doesn't matter. It's not the gift that's making me list my house with you. not saying like, oh my God, she gave me a $20 gift card. I'm going to list my house with her. It's like the fact that I keep dropping little things off. Like I'm just letting you know I'm not forgetting about you. And then you just have to be prepared that you have to expect. So like at some point you have to have a real estate conversation with these people. You can't just be dropping things off and never ask them like, hey, just want to know if you were to list your house, would you consider listing with me? And if they go, I would, I'm so sorry, but my sister-in-law is an agent. We'd really have to list with her, but thank you. I love your gifts. So that I don't give up just yet. I say, you know what? I hear that a lot, actually. I don't know if this would help you or not. A lot of my clients have family members or neighbors that are agents, and they don't necessarily want to list with them, but they feel obligated. And if that's the case, what I've done in the past is when I take the listing, because people can fire me, they can't fire their neighbor, they can't fire their sister-in-law. When I take the listing, I'm willing to pay that agent a 25% referral fee just to keep peace in your family and in your neighborhood. That agent does nothing. They're making 25% and don't have to do anything. And I would be paying that out just to keep the peace for you and your family or for your neighborhood. And they're like, you would do that? I'm like, of course I would. And I got my neighbor's listing. Their daughter-in-law was a referral agent for a different agency. So when I said to them, they were looking to sell, they wanted my input, they interviewed me, and they said, we have to be honest, our son's wife is a referral agent with this other agency. We're kind of feeling obligated. She wants to get a piece of it, so we might have to list with that agency. I go, no, you don't. I absolutely would do that for you guys to keep the peace in your family. And they picked me for that I was willing to pay their daughter. Or, did I want to pay 25% out? No. But did I? Because I would not allow having somebody else's face on a sign across from my house. I would have knocked it down. Spray painted it.
Patty, how much do you use mailings, and do you use mailings as like a farming technique, or do you use it to like kind of canvas and say blanket a neighborhood, or do you blanket Ramsey and say, okay,
where's my, hold on. Oh, I wish I could find it. I just
Patty,
did
we're
a
gonna
post.
sign off. Thank you so much. This was so good. Have a great day.
You too. Bye. Love you, Arlene. So I did a postcard that I farmed. Okay, so I always send out just listed. I always send out just sold. And I used to, in the beginning, just send them out to the neighborhood of where the house was. Now I'm getting fine tuning. Most of my stuff is in Ramsey, but not all of it. So if it's not in Ramsey, I send it to with the neighborhood, if it's Franklin Lakes or Teaneck or wherever. But if it's a listing in Ramsey, I have a specific area that I'm farming, and it's certain mailing, like it's certain streets and addresses, and you can tweak it. I don't know if anybody's played with that, but I send it, if I don't have any listings, I just sent out a postcard of, it was the year in review. So all my sales for 2020 and the towns that they were in. So people from Ramsey were like, oh, she does Long Beach Island. So I had 2 calls from when I sent this card out. I think they came out last week or 10 days ago. People saying, we didn't know you did LBI. We were actually thinking of looking down there. All right, fine. If I could sell 2 LBI houses, and I think I sent out, forget how many postcards it was, but it cost me like $500.
For one mailing?
But I sent it everywhere, like not everywhere, not the whole town, but places that I'm farming. So you could decide you're doing $100, $200. I just knew $500 was my cap. So I think it was $4 something with postage and having the postcard printed. And I got somebody saying I went yesterday on somebody from Ramsey who I do not know. They got my postcard and said, we'd be curious for you to come tell us what our house is worth. We're actually getting divorced. And we need to know what the value is, because when we go to sell, we have to have an idea of how much we're walking away with.
Yeah.
So the postcard, you could do a postcard, and Billy has those ideas, and they're also in command. What town are you in, Scott?
I'm in Fairlawn, but I do, I kind of work. I'm trying to find the hot spot. So I'm kind of working up
to find your niche.
Yeah, I'm kind of working up the railroad line, so the Bergen County line. So, Radburn, Glen Rock, Ho-Hocus, Ridgewood, just because that's, I spent so many years traveling into the city, and it's like, I kind of understand that. So I've been trying to farm New York in certain areas, right? And bring, because there are so many people coming out from that end of it, but then, whatever. But I was curious about the frequency, like how often do you mail? Because for me, it's like, I can't just let everyone know by phone or by my website or whatever, but I want to get some, something in people's mailboxes. And you think it's like a quarterly thing you need to do just to kind of.
Here's what I'm learning it now. Have you read the Red Book, MREA, yet?
I have it, and I've been going through it, but
I know it's a process.
It's a lot to digest. And
you're supposed to read it 12 times.
12 times. Okay.
I'm on my second. I mean, I've skimmed through it several times, but I'm literally on my second, where I'm taking notes and studying it and implementing. I won't go on to the next chapter until I've implemented what the one chapter is telling me to do.
Right.
So there's that whole chapter on, it's like you could do the 8x8, the 36 touch, Gary, if there's a system, Gary Keller has already done it, perfected it, and told us about it. So I'm not even going to give you an answer because I don't know it and I'll say it wrong. But it's in that MREA book that will definitely tell you if you're going to do a 36 touch, this many should be mail, this many should be phone calls, this many should be pop buys. They have a different name for those. But it breaks it down into simple math, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I'm going to say it's in that book.
So Patty, like you're saying that we can do just sold mailers like that. So if I did a condo in Mala and I just want to send, so how will I get the addresses of all that kind of, the Society Hill area?
Were you the listing agent or the selling agent?
The selling agent.
Okay, so you can go in when you go to make a postcard. Billy can walk you through it. So you can go make the postcard in the Keller Williams marketing, and it says, do you want to send out to specific addresses? Do you want to send it out to certain like mailing routes, or do you want to do a circumference of a map? So you can click where that condo is and say, I want to go 1 mile out, 2 miles out, 3 miles out. And you have to, when you're doing a condo, that was in Mawa.
Yes.
You just want to figure, who are you trying to market to? People that want to buy a condo, or people that are in a condo and want to sell it? So if you're going to send it, because if you do, was it Society Hill?
Yes.
So if you do Society Hill and you do a little bit radius, you're going to get Darlington Ridge, Ridge Gardens. What's that other one in the middle?
Yeah, there's another one.
Whatever, can't think of it. Anyway, so there's Birchwood Hills, that's more like townhouses. So you just have to figure out who are you marketing to. So you can send it out to those people, but I'm trying to think of, but when you go into marketing, you can do that.
Right.
When did it close?
Last week. So
you should be getting that email soon from the marketing saying, hey, you have a just listed program, or a just sold program that you can.
Oh, I haven't.
If not, like maybe that's only when you listed it. But I send them out. I would send those cards out, and you can change the verbiage on the back of the postcard. It comes with like standard verbiage.
Right.
But I always change it to tweak who it is I'm trying to market to. Like,
so how much does it cost to like send it? Suppose it's a 1 mile radius, I do, and I ask Billy to do that. So you can tell Billy, like, I want to give it a $200 limit, or I want to give it a $300 limit. But I'll tell you, when I send out the cards, I usually $300 to $400, Mm-hmm.
and I do it for every listing. And you don't get feedback from every single postcard you send out. But when I was first starting, I had a listing in Oakland. Trying to think of how I got that. I got a listing in Oakland, and then I sent out the just listed and just sold cards, when it listed and it sold. And the neighbor across the street called and said, hey, we just got your postcard. We're interested in selling. Can you come over? So I sold theirs. And then a few weeks later, I got a call down the street and they go, hey, we just got your just sold card on that one. And we got the one a few months before around the corner. So we'd like you to come look at our house. So just from these just sold cards for $400, I made $10,000, $12,000 on each listing. So $30,000 profit on a maybe $1,200 investment.
Yeah, that's true. Perfect. Thank you so much, Patty. This was
You're
great.
welcome.
I'm gonna start.
Welcome.
I've already made notes. I'm gonna start.
If you should put my email here, PATTIGURNEY-KW. If you want me to send you those Popeye things, I'll send you all the ones I have.
Do you want me to send you my?
Well, send it to me in an email because I don't even know how to access the chat thing after it's over. So send me an email and I'll just reply to your email.
Okay. And your email is?
Patti Gurney. I put it in the chat. Oh, I put it on Carlisle privately. I didn't mean to, John.
I can just at KW.
Yes, Patti Gurney, PATTIGURNEY@KW.com.
I got it.
There. So I'll just send you the Popeye things I have. I forget what company it was that either on Facebook they'll pop. It'll come up as a Facebook ad.
I know I got a call from them too. Was it Reminder Media or something?
Possibly.
Yeah, they gave me a lot of calls too that you want to start, we have a package, we'll do everything for you, we'll mail it out.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. I just know that I see it on Facebook and I'm like, oh my God, that's a cute one. And it says, download it here. And then you download it and and I never do any business with them. I just download it.
Okay, thank you, Patty. This was great information.
You're welcome. And if one tip I will say, like, if you're going to lead gen, keep track of who you called, find some kind of form. I keep mine on a clipboard. And when I'm done with the week, I punch holes in them and I have a binder that I keep.
Yeah, because I have so many papers I get lost, so it's better to just.
This is last year's.
Wow.
So every month I keep this entire big binder of my lead gen for 2020. And then if I get lost of like, oh my God, I have nobody to call, I go back and I look at April last year and go like, who did I call April of last year? That maybe there's somebody that I thought was not worth following up with, and maybe I could follow up with them again.
Wow. So you keep track even
everything, every phone call I make, every email I send, every text I send. If it's lead generating, I have you down.
Wow. Interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. And anytime you guys have questions or just reach out to me.
Maybe we can come to the office one day and you can, literally show us.
Oh, yeah, show you my binder.
Yeah.
My collection of paper. And everybody else, like smarter than me, is like, you can keep all this on your computer. I'm like, I'm sure you can. There's something about writing on paper that I just enjoy the paper, because I'm always looking through folders. Like, is it in here? Is it in here? Is it in here? Is it in here? Where did I put that? What did I call that? I don't know where I put the document, but I know where the paper is.
Yeah.
It's chaos, but it works for me.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much, Patty. I'm going to go now.
All right, everybody, I know I've kept you.
Take care. Bye,
Thank you so much. Go lead generate, keep track. And Scott, if you have any thoughts or questions, reach out to me.
Thanks, Patty. Really, really helpful. Appreciate it.
Lead generate every day like your life depends on it. It's the only way to reach your goals.
Got it. Thanks so much.
And follow up.
Patty.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.